this is part 60 of Ocarina of Time 3D, and this part we're going through the second part of the Shao Temple, where we got a lot going on. We're going to get some Skulltulas,
and that's it.
And that's all we're going to do. So, still, I mean, we're going through the dungeon, so it's not a boring part. Just we don't get a lot of the dungeon items in this one.
Yeah, we progressed deeper and deeper into it. Like
that's what she said.
Yeah. Or that better not be boring or not a lot going on.
See that Stalfos just floating right there?
Which
in midair.
I feel like we got that back in the Forest Temple too when we fought him over that empty platform.
Like, it's so weird because he can obviously fall off of it because that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
But, like, when you kill him, I guess he just stays right there. I don't know.
One really neat effect with the hover boots that we didn't talk about when we first got them. I love how it's the same effect as when we're walking on ice. It's just like it takes you a second to get going. It takes you a second to stop or change direction. It's just a really neat little touch.
I wonder if they actually use that, I guess, program, a code or whatever.
That'd be
however you make it, because I guess what I'm thinking is in Majora's Mask, Zora Link was actually the same mechanic as Adult Link was in Ocarina of Time. So they kind of just use that same. I don't know, skill or like code or however games are developed. So I wonder if those actually are the same kind of
I'm guessing. I don't know. Same animation.
Yeah, same animation or whatever you want to say.
I'm guessing it is.
They stole one from the other.
Yeah, I'm guessing it is because it's the same effect. You know, it's a neat touch. It's kind of annoying when you're trying to stop on a dime.
yes. Hover boots. You don't want to walk around with those unless you need them.
Exactly.
Don't fight a boss with them.
No. Now this room, I love the idea.
Yes, I do. A little tedious, which, I mean, pushing a block always is tedious.
It is.
I wish they'd give us an item in a game that made us push a block faster.
Or like the gauntlets that we get, you know, that let us lift up heavy things. We should be able to just zoom right through with this.
Yes, pick up and throw it like wherever we want to. Block, go here.
Yes, exactly. But just the idea of... I'm glad that you're trying to bomb a Skulltula.
That was a, you know what this is all about. When you're playing, sometimes you think you have a certain item equipped, and you don't. I thought I had the hook shot equipped on that button. I did not. I had the bomb. And you know what? It
still killed it.
I think the bomb still killed it.
Still killed it.
My hook shot hit it around the same time, so, you know, but, just one of those things. Where,
it happens.
Yeah, we do not have perfect runs. Trust us.
No.
We've got a lot better as we've been doing this more and more because now we just restart.
Well,
if it's too bad, we just go, okay, we've got to restart it now.
All I know is I'm just trying to get making fun of your gameplay out of my system because once we get to
wait till Twilight Princess HD, yes, I'm going to have some fun with that game.
As you should.
Now, I also like right there, just walk on top of the I call them spike platforms, even though they're facing down.
That's a good name for them.
Like, I mean, there's not much there, but just a really cool effect and something we really haven't got to do in the game or many other Zelda games for that matter.
I like it. Just between that, using that block earlier to keep them from crushing you. Just I thought it was a really
it was a really cool concept. Like I said, a little tedious, but as you can see, I thought I had that one. I kind of went around and looked. I was like, crap, I gotta go one more spot.
I thought you had it too.
Now, what's the point of those wood things? You see that little wood piece stick up in the floor?
Yeah.
We've seen that throughout the dungeon. I'm kind of like, what's the point of that thing there?
I have no idea. The only thing I could think of is, it's a place to like chain people up. I have no idea.
That's actually a very good point right there.
Of course, that makes me think of Lost. Of course, always.
Yes. But I mean, that's a very good point because I'm kind of going with this not so much as a prison.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it could be a prison.
Torture and execution.
It doesn't really look that much different. Well, it looks a lot different than Arbor's Grounds. But I'm saying, like, if you had to set up for a prison, it's really not that much different than Arbor's Grounds.
So, to me, that's the only thing I could think of with those wooden like beams or whatever on the floor. But other than that, I got nothing. It adds some color to the...
Yeah, screw this Redead right here, man.
I gotcha.
I got a little too close to my sword, and the Sun Song, the reason we've been playing that is because it stuns the Redeads for a little while. But like I said, I got a little bit too close to my sword, and as soon as you hit them with the sword, they awake or respawn.
Yeah.
And then whatever.
I love the idea of the Sun Song stunning them because you think like bright light, sunshine versus an undead enemy like that. I think it's a good concept. I wish like beam of sunlight would hit him or something.
Well, if you remember, we went down to that grave to get the Sun Song where we actually had Redeads. That green water or poisonous water or whatever it was, like, why did they not put that in this dungeon?
That would have been it would have
been a great addition to this dungeon.
It just would have added some color.
Like where the boat, like when we see the boat later on, if they would have put like where that boat is, like that would have been perfect. Instead, Well, we talk about when we get there.
Yeah,
but
we'll get there.
The physics of that boat makes no sense whatsoever.
But I totally agree, though, that, like, just putting that water in here, I remember commenting when we were in the Royal Grave, or at least I think we did, about how bright and, like, neon it looked and how it gave it a pop. And I loved it. I wish
the Sunstone was in the Royal Grave, wasn't it?
Yes.
We went to another grave to get a heart piece, and also the Hylian shield, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
And then we also had a race where we got hook shot and a heart piece. God, okay, there's a lot going on in the graveyard, actually.
We've been in a lot of graves. In this
Unlike
game.
Twilight Princess, where there's nothing going on in the grave space.
It's the most boring graveyard ever.
How about that urn right there, dude? That skull urn is BA right there.
And you get the blue flames at the top. It just...
You know what? If I ever get a tattoo, I'm getting that skull urn right there. That's what I'm getting.
I thought you were gonna say if you ever got cremated, I want my urn to look like.
Oh, that would be pretty. That would be pretty awesome too.
I thought that's where you were going at first. That is an awesome looking skull, though. Like the detail they put on it is really
picked up in the Shadow Temple.
Yes,
this is from the Shadow Temple.
And I love this idea of bombing it. It has a key hidden down in there.
Yeah,
which, instead of it just being in a treasure chest or something, I just really like the idea of a key being hidden in it. And I think there's a clue somewhere that tells you you're supposed to. Well, the bonflowers.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's actually a very good clue right there.
That might be
the only other time we did something like that was in Goron City.
That's right.
We doing that big urn to get the heart pieces or other prizes that come along with that.
I forgot all about that.
Now you know what? You kind of talked about you like at the very first part of this dungeon. Mm-hmm. You kind of talked about how you play it more and more. You've come to like it more and more.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, like I was just kind of thinking about that. And I guess we kind of go into that just a little bit, but like I've always respected this dungeon, like I said, but the more I go through this dungeon, I actually end up hating it more.
Really?
Because I've seen the gimmick of being scary and spooky.
Oh, of course.
But like just the whole linearity of this dungeon, like I've talked about
already.
It is
straightforward.
Just like the dungeon is not that hard. There's really not a lot of enemies, period.
There really are.
There's no new enemies, which we've seen that already in a couple other dungeons.
We have.
This part right here, even though I like it, it doesn't make sense like why there's like wind fans.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And like what grave or whatever this place is.
Yeah, like I like it's another instance where I like the concept of having these fans and using either your iron boots or your hover boots to navigate them, but it doesn't really.
But why in this dungeon? You know the whole wind force concept that they kind of went back and forth on.
Yeah,
like these would have made sense in the Force Temple, which you kind of get example of that in the last dungeon of the game. But like right here, and now, not everything has to make sense in Zelda.
And it won't.
But I just remember, right there, I was like, what's the point of these fans down here?
They don't make a lot of sense, but I will say I like when they bring back old dungeon items. So for them to bring back the iron boots, I thought...
That is true. I do like that. I do like when they do that.
Yeah. Now, like we said, though, the fans down here don't particularly make a lot of sense. And the wind concept in general, underground, you wouldn't think there'd be wind, but...
Now, you probably brought some points in the first part, but why do you like it more and more as you go through? Like I said, you probably brought some points. But
I think it's just the tone more than anything else. Like how unique it is. I love.
It is unique. It is. Yeah,
I love the blade traps, the guillotines, all these skulls and stuff, and we've talked about those, of course.
Yeah.
And just to me,
it's a very short dungeon too, if you think about it.
It is.
Now I do want to say something right here. I had little problems with equipping certain items, and I actually ended up getting very lucky, as you see, because I basically put those hover boots on as I'm getting blown over that little gap right there. But
it worked.
Just kind of struggling on some, you hit this button, and went to this button, and you went to go this button. You're like, oh man, what the heck?
That's the downside of when they made the iron boots and hover boots equippable items.
Yes.
Because when you just had to go to the start screen, it was hard to screw up changing.
That's true. That is true.
It sucked though. I'm glad they changed it. But yeah,
but back to your point, we were talking about.
Just why I like it more. Like I said, I think it does just go down to the feel of it, the tone of it. And some of the things that they say, the bloody history of this place.
It's a little bit of a backstory, which we don't get a lot with these dungeons, I guess.
Plus, we've kind of kicked around ideas for a theory. It's this just seems and we've talked about is it a prison?
Mysterious. It is very mysterious, like execution/prison.
Yeah,
but. I guess one thing you can't think about is what was this place exactly?
Exactly. Now, as I've said, we're not fans of darker or bland colored dungeons, but to me, I think the tone of this does help stand out. I know you said that the creepiness doesn't do quite as much for you.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I get that, but
I do respect it more and more for its place in the game, but I think it's too short, really.
Got to cut short though. This is going to wrap up part 60 of Ocarina of Time 3D.